This Truckers for Trump boycott in New York City is getting absolutely massive, and we have people like Tim Pool and the rest of the Timcast cast talking about it. We have people like Patrick Bet David and Valuetainment talking about it, and they're all very much behind it. They're all saying this could be absolutely massive if this Truckers for Trump boycott actually goes through and actually becomes as big as they think it could become. Let's first get into this clip here from Timcast. It's saying, if truckers really do say we're not going to go to New York City, it gets to the point when social order breaks down. That is a quote from Tim Pool. Let's check out this clip here from Timcast and from the Post Millennial.
Truckers for Trump are refusing to drive to New York City after $350 million fraud ruling. Boycott NYC was trending on X with more than 13,000 posts mentioning the term. This morning, Truckers was trending with 300,000 references to the boycott. And then there was another, Boycott NYC was trending substantially more than just 13,000 by the time this story came up. Here's a funny thing. So the story originates with a guy. He's a trucker. He's like, I'm on the radio and I'm hearing these people saying they're not going to accept deliveries, loads going into New York. It was like 10 guys. It turns into a definitive headline. Truckers for Trump are refusing to drive because one dude made a video saying he talked to some people on the radio. I hope it's more widespread than just that.
It could be 2 truckers. It could be 1,000.
Right.
The way this headline is
That
written.
being said, we have heard mutterings like this in the past. And
By the way, this clip is from last night, and we've gotten a lot more information today. This Truckers for Trump boycott has gotten absolutely massive. At least the people talking about it on social media. This has gone absolutely viral. Like, it's trending on Twitter. It's ton of people are talking about it on YouTube. Like, obviously you can see Tim Pool talking about it here. We'll talk about Patrick Bet David and what they have to say in 1 second. I think it's a lot more than just a few truckers. Like, this seems to be a ton of truckers stepping up, even a ton of truckers even speaking out, not even just taking the actions, but speaking out against what's happening in New York City and speaking out in favor of this trucker boycott of New York City. So I think it's a lot more than just a few. This was last night though. So they weren't, we've had a lot of developments with this trucker boycott today since this clip.
there was a story about this trucker boycott of Colorado when they sentenced this guy to 110 years in prison because his brakes failed and he crashed.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
So truckers were just like, I'm not going to Colorado. I'll go to prison. It's different. It shows you the power that truckers have. I mean, the free speech convoy in Canada terrified Trudeau and his government so much they started seizing the assets of people and arresting them.
By the way, it's insane how quickly that story went away. Like, that was an absolutely nuts situation where they started freezing bank accounts, freezing assets, arresting people for peacefully protesting. That was an insane situation, and it kind of just went away.
If truckers really do say we're not going to go to New York City, and this is something that I predicted as a possibility like a year or two ago, it gets to the point when social order breaks down, truckers probably lean more conservative than liberal because you're working really hard all the time. Right. I think they just, de facto. Why deal with a city like New York that's corrupt, destroying this country, when you can simply say, I'll take a load anywhere else.
Right.
So maybe this does end up having a big impact. Newsweek is reporting right now that the dude who made the original video has deleted it and said, so I don't like this Newsweek article. They say he backed down. No, he made a video where he said, I'm not an organizer. I was just telling people what people were talking about. So I do think the mutterings are happening. My bigger concern is I don't trust that people on the right are coordinated enough or ideological enough to turn down increased wages and job offers, right? So if a bunch of principled truck drivers say we won't go to New York, there's going to be some young dude. His boss is going to call him and say, hey, everyone's rejecting this New York trip. We'll pay you double. And he's going to go, all right.
Right.
And then what?
Right.
I feel like
Very true. That's very true. I just think of myself whenever I was younger, when I was 19, 20 years old, somebody offered me double pay to go to New York. Like, I'll probably take it. I wasn't very much into politics. I didn't see the point in any of it. I didn't see how it affected me personally. And I really didn't see that until recently. So Tim Pool does have a point there, where the younger guys might just accept it for double pay or increased pay and not really understand the weight of the situation. But I still think it would cause massive issues, I think it would still cause massive issues and still make a dent. Even if that was the case, and there's younger truckers out there, people who are willing to take lesser pay in order to fill the gaps, I think this still definitely would, make some noise and cause some major issues. We also have this clip here from Patrick Bet David and the Valuetainment crew. And I think this clip was really, really good. This clip is from the Valuetainment channel. It says, need to step up. New Yorkers fight back over New York City migrant crisis. Let's check this out.
Eric Adams faced community pushback. How many of these community people do you know, by the way, that you're listening to this?
How many do we know? How many of them are famous? How many of them are big TikTokers, YouTubers? We don't know these guys. But community, we the people are more powerful than a Eric Adams, mayor of New York. So he says, face community pushback over plans to convert an abandoned luxury complex into a shelter for migrants, prompting a reversal. Residents expressed frustration over lack of communication and concerns about prioritizing migrants over local homeless populations, with Tiffany Fulton of Silent Voices United, Inc. stating, no, I don't agree with it. Turning it into a sanctuary for asylum seekers, knowing we have people right here that need space. Adams, now who is Tiffany Fulton? Can you pull up Tiffany Fulton? You ever heard of Tiffany?
New York is in a spot where the residents either have to rise up and stand up to people like Eric Adams, or that New York is just going to become a permanent trash hole. Like, it's just going to be permanent. If they don't actually stand up right now, it seems like they are standing up. But I mean, people in New York are already living in like cardboard boxes. And I mean that metaphorically. Like, the apartments in New York are like $5,000 for like 200 square feet. Like, it's really bad. You know, already the living situation and the amount of people who are crammed together in that city. And, you know, when you add in a ton of illegal immigrants, and then you're giving away large spaces to house those people and to be sanctuaries for those people, it's like, dude, at this point, you have to rise up and stand up to these people who are ruining your city, or it's just going to become a permanent trash hole. It seems like the people of New York City are actually standing up and rising up. But let's listen to the rest of what Patrick Bet-David has to say here.
Fulton?
Nope.
Do you follow her on Instagram?
Nope.
Do you follow her on TikTok?
Nope.
Do you follow her on Twitter? Have you seen videos of her? Go put Tiffany Fulton, New York, and go to images. I want to know what she looks like. I want to know what she looks like. Okay, guess what?
Go to her.
She's so famous
Twitter.
that there's no one Tiffany Fulton there, but I actually want to give her credit.
Rob, Silent Voices. Tiffany
Silent Voices.
Go to
United,
Silent
yeah.
Voices. Silent Voices. Silent Voices. Okay, go to it. Let's see what comes up. Is there a face for Tiffany? The second one said Tiffany. The second one said Tiffany. Let's see what she looks like. Is this the one, Silent Voices, New York?
She doesn't have a photo up.
I believe she's in the news clip that we do have, though.
Is her face in there?
Yes.
Can you pull it up? I want to see which one it is. I just want to see what she looks like. Fast forward to her talking. Is that her?
Agree with it turned into a sanctuary for asylum seekers. No, when we have people right here that
Let me
need
ask you,
space.
pause it right there. Who do you think she voted for?
Biden. 100%.
Who do you think she voted for? If you were a betting man,
Eric Adams and Joe Biden.
She voted for Eric Adams.
100%.
Okay, and guess what she's
Most
saying?
likely.
I am not for it.
Yeah.
I am not for it. What is that called? It's called community pushback reversal. A mayor publicly humiliated by somebody that probably voted for him is saying, no, Mayor Adams, we're not okay with this. I think more New Yorkers need to stand up and say we're not for what's
The most
happening.
powerful word that someone can say at some point is no. No, we're not just going to give $53 billion to illegal immigrants. No, we're not going to. How much is it?
$53 million.
$53 million. No, we're not just going to basically shut down our public schools so migrants could live there. No, we're not just going to give them public housing.
Yep.
No. And a lot of times it takes people like that. So some of the people that are most angry about what's going on in New York and some of these sanctuary cities, you know who it is? Black people.
Of
Because they're like, yo,
what the hell is going on?
can we get
Yeah, black people just say yo all the time, right, Adam? He's like, his first word when he's doing an impression of a black person is, they're like, yo.
a little help over here for ourselves?
No.
While we're struggling out here, or even any type of people that are struggling right now, it's like you're basically disregarding your citizenry for people who are not even American. Vinny, go ahead. Go ahead.
And Rob has a video. Like, with all the stuff that's happening in New York, okay, with all illegals, crime, you know, the truckers want to with everything that's happening, I want to shift it to a lighter note. At least at the end of the day, guys, there's New Yorkers that genuinely care about the citizens, and they're out there giving meaningful and uplifting messages, especially about change. This is why New York is so good. Pat, look at this guy and this guy's message really fast. You guys have no idea that I was going to play this. Go ahead, Rob, play that. This is New York. Look at this dude. Watch, Pat.
If you're serious about change, just know you're going to go through some uncomfortable situations. Stop trying to dodge the process, because in the long run, it's going to make you better. And don't forget that shit, you heard?
I mean, at least
This guy's got a microwave for a head.
Say
bro.
what you want about New York.
Jack-o'-lantern
At
head.
least
That's basically an average New Yorker. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. What do you think about Patrick Bet-David and Tim Pool's take on New York City right now? The trucker convoy, or the trucker boycott, not the convoy. We did talk about the convoy a little bit, which was a wild situation. But let me know in the comments. Do you think that this trucker boycott in New York City, do you think it's going to be a big deal, or do you think it's going to kind of blow over? And personally, I think it definitely has the opportunity to be a big deal. But Tim Pool makes some really good points in that if they just offer younger guys a higher wage, it might just it wouldn't get rid of the entire situation completely, but it definitely would put a damper on the whole thing. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Tim Pool's thoughts are, Patrick Bet-David, the rest of them in the comments. And if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys on the next one.